This is Business Morning on Channels Television. It's now time to take a look at what's going on in terms of entrepreneurship development in Nigeria. Of course, we know that the youth, the very energetic youth that Nigeria has, they all have the ability to transform the economy if supported by government and individuals who have the wherewithal to fund them and create the enabling environment for them to thrive. We've been joined in the studio to take a look at these issues and more by Mr. Ayo Emahiome. He is a business development expert and the MD of Coinbox. Thank you, Mr. Emahiome. Trying to get your name right.
Thank you,
Thank you for coming on the program. When we talk about entrepreneurship development, many Nigerians today are beginning to start their own businesses. They want to be on their own, be their own bosses and all of that. What is the situation in terms of entrepreneurship for Nigerians?
In terms of entrepreneurship for Nigerians, presently, for me, it's a good situation. Why? A lot of us were in our comfort zones, but the economy is now making it very necessary for us to go into entrepreneurship. And the truth of the matter is, no nation grows without having a growing market of entrepreneurs. And being that that is what is happening now, then the country is doing well in that aspect. It's just that presently, it's not about throwing us into the jungle. It's about giving us the necessary arsenal in that jungle, which is where there is a challenge in entrepreneurship in Nigeria presently. Everybody has what it takes to be an entrepreneur, but the necessary infrastructure, the necessary things for you to run as an entrepreneur is lagging behind.
We also to have more young people going into setting up businesses as regards those who are a bit elderly. What do you think is responsible? Of course, we all know that the fact that when you leave school, when you graduate from school, you feel, oh, let me just get something to do before I go for my youth service. And perhaps I could set up a business and it could thrive. Even after youth service, I could take up a full entrepreneurship business. Why are we having this situation at the moment?
First of all, if you say there are more young people going into entrepreneurship in the country, Nigeria is a country of young people. So saying that there are more young people, that is how it should be presently based on our last census. We have more young people in the country. And as a youngster, when I left school, I looked ahead. I saw those ahead of me, they are going through a lot of issues, always complaining about what's happening at work, people being laid off and everything. So why do I want to follow that path? Why don't I look for something else to do? And what's that? Start a business by the side, as some will say, but really by the side or however you do it, it's a business you've started. The question usually is how many young people are ready to sit down with that business to see it grow, which is where there is a gap.
Okay. The environment, the business environment is very critical. The issue of infrastructure is key. What has been your assessment of the business environment? For those who are aspiring to start a business, what should they expect to see?
In the Nigerian business environment, it's, if I can use that word, it's very harsh. But outside that, it's a wonderful place. Because if you can go through the harsh conditions of the business in the country presently, then there is nowhere you cannot thrive. And some people tell you, oh, it's in Nigeria, it's not elsewhere. The truth of the matter is the business rules are the same wherever you are. You would get cheated, you would fail here, you would lose money. The principles are all the same. But the question now is, one, you yourself as the business person, were you ready for that business? How did you get into it? Then number two, we now look at the government's part. The government so far has tried. I wouldn't say they are not doing anything, but they need to work on creating an enabling environment for business to thrive, which is where the challenge is.
What do you think constitutes an enabling environment?
Number one, if I might use a typical example, our tax system is not an SME-friendly system because you have so many different people taxing you. And then you start a business, you are still trying to find out your financials, and then somebody comes to tell you, oh, you have to pay this much as tax. Somebody else comes, no, 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 no. You paid this, no, this is the other one you pay. Before you know it, you've given all your money to the government. There should be a system, although there is, but it's not in full effect, where there are some form of tax holidays. Then, for example, we should have an environment where we have something like industrial parks, where you get a set of entrepreneurs together, you support them, you know what they do, you know how they do it, and then those set of people, you give them some form of tax holidays or tax incentives. That is, do this and get this much taken out of your tax.
I think this was being done by the former Minister for ICT, where she had an ICT hub for young ICT entrepreneurs who have interests and the drive to go into that. But let me just add this to the issue of mentorship. People need to know. They need to know what it will entail, what it entails to go into businesses. How do you think is the best way to go about building the people up, the young people who have showed interest to go into businesses? The kind of mentorship they would require to succeed. Are we doing that on the quarterly basis, for instance, monthly basis? Is there any strategy by the government or by some groups of people, organizations, to build young people in the area of mentorship?
In terms of government, a mentor has to be empowered in the first place. That is, he should know that he has gone through the journey. He has started, he has gotten somewhere, and he's going somewhere. But how many businesses in Nigeria can give you a history of such that, oh, this business started here and is going here compared to the population? We don't have that kind of base for such a system. And then a lot of people that call themselves successful businesses can't actually give you a track record of where they started from to where they are going to. So we fail in data, we fail in planning. But outside that, a lot of people in the private sector have started, because they realized the need for this mentorship system, they have started coming up with mentorship systems that support entrepreneurs. Like we have the Elumelu Foundation, we have the Ford Foundation, we have, what do you call them? There's a ministry,
the Faith Foundation.
The Faith Foundation, even LBS is doing something in that angle with their CDC. Then we have the Business Advantage series, the group Fragrance of Grace Ministry, they are doing that. Even Daystar, they are running a business mentorship program. They just started now. That's Daystar Christian Center. And the truth of my head, that is one of the only major ways to succeed, where somebody that has been there holds your hand and takes you through it. So for this new development, as it's coming up, I have started since Elumelu Foundation last year, with so many other groups coming up, then I know, yes, we are going somewhere in that angle. But all these people still need support.
From the government?
From the government.
Maybe through the policies that the government
One is the policy, then two, like the government is not yet, the government doesn't have a focus. What do I mean by that? The CBN will say, this is our definition of our focus for the year, this is what we want to do, this is where we are going to. The stock exchange will come up with a different story, that no, this is where we are going to, this is how we are going to. The Nigerian Chamber of Commerce will come up with another focus. There should be a form of unison among all of them, where there is now one direct focus. And once they can do that, then we are going somewhere. Then you mentioned, all I've said is a short-term approach. Although mentorship is not short-term, but the long-term approach, a lot of people are not even educated in mentorship. Many people in Nigeria go into it by accident. And some, they don't even know anything about it, so they are so scared to go into it. But the truth is, you are supposed to be afraid to wake up in the morning when you went to bed because you don't know, you get. So, but we now need government, for example, to introduce entrepreneurship into secondary schools, entrepreneurship programs, enlightenment programs, things of, oh, okay, what does it take to start a business? What is a business? You grow it to the point where they are, although we already have some, where they do, they say it's trade, learning a trade on the side. I don't want it to be on the side. It should be a full part of the curricula, so that by the time you are going through university, to a good extent, you already have an idea. Yeah, you're fully equipped.
for it.
By then, even fewer people will be looking for jobs.
All right.
But now, you talk to some people, they tell you, I need a job. Okay, what are you doing presently? Actually, I have a business I'm running. Because that was the mindset that was created, that a business on the side is a business on the side, while you go and get a job. We need to change that.
All right, orientation. The orientation needs to change. Thank you, Mr. Ayo. Emahume. Got it right this time. Thank you so much. Mr. Ayo Emahume is MD of Coinbox. He's been talking about entrepreneurship development, and he says that young people need to take it and move into the business circle, and the government need to support everyone who has shown interest to grow business, and that will in turn, in the long term, also build the Nigerian economy. And I'll be all on Business Morning. Thank you so much for spending time with us on the program. We hope to see you again tomorrow. I am Bolaji Akinwale.